The year is 1954. The place? Rome, Italy. A football match was ground to a halt when unidentified flying objects were spotted above a stadium in Florence. On October 27, 1954, a typically crisp autumn day in Tuscany, the mighty Fiorentina club was playing against its local rival Piacenza. 10,000 fans were watching in the concrete bowl of the Stadio Artemi Franchi, but just after halftime the stadium fell eerily silent. Then a roar went up from the crowd. The spectators were no longer watching the match, but were looking up at the sky, fingers pointing. The players stopped playing. The ball rolled to a standstill. One of the footballers on the pitch was Artico Magnini. He was something of a legend at the club and played for Italy at the 1954 World Cup.
"I remember everything from A to Z," he says. "It was something that looked like an egg that was moving slowly. Everyone was looking up, and also there was some glitter coming down from the sky. Silver glitter. We were astonished. We had never seen anything like it before. We were absolutely shocked. The play was suspended because spectators saw something in the sky." According to the referee's match report, among the crowd was Gigi Bonni, a lifelong Fiorentina fan. "I remember clearly seeing this incredible sight," he says. His description of multiple objects differs slightly from Magnini's. "They were moving very fast and then they just stopped. It all lasted a couple of minutes. I would like to describe them as being like Cuban cigars. They just reminded me of Cuban cigars, in the way they looked." Bonni has spent many years reliving that day in his mind. "I think they were extraterrestrial. That's what I believe, and there's no other explanation I can give myself." Another of the players, Romolo Tucci, still sprightly in his 70s, agrees. "In those years everybody was talking about aliens. Everybody was talking UFOs, and we had the experience. We saw them. We saw them directly. For real. The incident at the stadium cannot simply be interpreted as mass hysteria. There were numerous UFO sightings in many towns across Tuscany that day and over the days that followed. According to some eyewitness accounts, a ray of white light was seen in the sky coming from Prato, north of Florence." Another man who relishes the chance to speak about that day is Roberto Pinotti, the president of Italy's National UFO Center. He has written many books about UFOs, and his home in the center of Florence is stuffed full of alien memorabilia. Posters of old Italian B-movies, framed newspaper articles, and black and white photographs of blurry flying saucers. The players and the public were stunned seeing these objects above the stadium. Pinotti says, "At the time the newspapers spoke of aliens from Mars. Of course, now we know that is not so. But we may conclude that it was an intelligent phenomenon. A technological phenomenon, and a phenomenon that cannot be linked with anything we know on Earth." H is also intrigued by the material that fell from the sky. What Magnini describes as silver glitter. It is a fact that at the same time the UFOs were seen over Florence there was a strange, sticky substance falling from above. "In English we call this angel hair," says Pinotti. "The only problem is after a short period of time it disintegrates." As a 10-year-old boy he witnessed this phenomenon himself. "I remember, in broad daylight, seeing the roofs of the houses in Florence covered in this white substance for 1 hour, and like snow, it just evaporated. No one knows what this strange substance has to do with UFOs."
Variously described by witnesses as similar to cotton wool or cobwebs, the substance was hard to collect because it disintegrated on contact, but some people were determined to find out what it was. One of them was a journalist at the Florentine newspaper, La Nazione, the late Giorgio Bettini. In 2003, he told an Italian television program, Voyager, how on the day he received hundreds of phone calls about the sightings. From the offices of La Nazione in the center of town, his own view of the sky was blocked by the cathedral, so he went up to the top of the newspaper's building to see what everyone was talking about. The 81-year-old recalled seeing shiny balls moving fast towards the dome of the cathedral. Bettini ventured out to investigate. He came across a wood outside the city that was covered in the white fluff. He gathered several samples by rolling them up on a matchstick, and took them to the Institute of Chemical Analysis at the University of Florence. When he got there, he found that others had done the same. The lab, led by respected scientist Professor Giovanni Cannieri, subjected the material to spectrographic analysis, and concluded that it contained elements of boron, silicon, calcium, and magnesium, and that it was not radioactive. Unfortunately, this did not provide any conclusive answers, and the material was destroyed in the process.